All right, let's dive into this. Welcome, 8th graders, to today's Explainer. I am so thrilled you're here because today we are tackling a foundational skill that's going to stick with you for your entire academic journey, mastering academic integrity. Specifically, we're looking at the absolutely crucial difference between paraphrasing and plagiarizing. You are on a quest to become not just smarter students, but truly honorable scholars. And the tools we're going to cover today are going to protect your work and your reputation.
So, here's our game plan for today. We're going to cover what is academic integrity, why plagiarism actually hurts you, how to paraphrase perfectly, avoiding the sneaky patch writing trap, looking at some real examples, and finally, tying it all back to morality, education, and peace of mind.
All right, part one. What exactly is academic integrity? Our first major concept is paraphrasing. Think of paraphrasing like being a really good translator. You're taking someone else's brilliant idea and translating it completely into your own unique voice, in your own sentence structure. But notice the second half of that definition, while still giving credit to the original author. That is literally the golden rule here. Even though the words are yours, the original idea wasn't, so you absolutely must give credit. Now, on the flip side, we have the villain of the story, plagiarism. Simply put, this is copying someone else's work without giving them the credit they deserve. No way around it. If paraphrasing is being an honest translator, plagiarism is just claiming someone else's hard work as your own invention. It's the ultimate academic trap, and it's one we are going to learn how to actively defeat today.
Moving right along to Section 2, Why Plagiarism Hurts You.
The material we're exploring today frames plagiarism as way more than just breaking some random school rule. It's a deeper moral issue. This actually points to a foundational concept from biblical morality. Exodus 20:15. You shall not steal. You know, when you plagiarize, you aren't just taking words, you are literally stealing another person's intellectual property. Looking at it through this moral lens really helps us realize that academic integrity is fundamentally about honesty and respect. And because it's a form of theft, there are harsh, real-world consequences. Seriously, a bad choice today ripples into tomorrow. Plagiarism immediately trashes your credibility. I mean, once people know you copy, it's really hard for them to trust your original thoughts again. In school, it can cause you to instantly fail an assignment or even an entire class. And looking ahead to your future in the professional world, passing off someone else's work as your own will absolutely get you fired. It hurts you right now, and it hurts your future. Okay, Section 3. How to paraphrase perfectly. All right, here is your ultimate toolkit. Step 1. Read the original passage carefully, like really make sure you understand it. Step 2 is what I like to call the invisible check. And guys, this is the secret sauce. You have to physically look away from the text and write the main idea from memory. Seriously, if you're looking at the source while you write, you will inevitably copy their sentence structure. You've got to fly blind. Finally, step 3, check your work. Look back and compare your version to the original to make sure you kept the core meaning perfectly accurate. So it's read, look away and write, then compare. And here is a massive, flashing neon reminder. Even when you paraphrase beautifully and the words are 100% your own original creation, you must still cite your source. The idea still belongs to the researcher or author who discovered it, right? You did the writing, sure, but they did the thinking, so you've got to give them their well-deserved shout-out.
Which brings us to Section 4. Beware the patch writing trap.
So here's the thing. Not all changes are created equal. Patch writing is a sneaky trap where you just change a few words here and there, maybe swap out a few synonyms, but you keep the exact same sentence structure as the original author. It might feel like you're paraphrasing, but because the underlying architectural structure of the sentence is identical to the source, it is still considered plagiarism. It's just too close to the original.
Section 5. Let's look at examples.
Okay, let's look at a perfect paraphrase. The original sentence talks about deforestation being a major contributor to climate change. Now check out the paraphrase below it. Cutting down forests speeds up climate change, since trees can no longer take in carbon dioxide from the air. Notice how they completely changed the vocabulary? Swapping deforestation for cutting down forests and absorb for take in. But more importantly, the entire structure of the sentence shifted, all while flawlessly keeping the core scientific meaning perfectly intact. That is how it's done. Here's another one, a historical example. The original states, the Great Depression began in 1929 and lasted for about a decade, affecting economies worldwide. The paraphrase, beginning in 1929, the Great Depression continued for roughly 10 years and had global economic effects. See what the student did there?
they rearrange the timeline of the sentence, starting with beginning in 1929. It changes the whole rhythm into an original student-driven voice, but the historical facts are exactly right.
Now, beware. This is what that sneaky patch writing trap actually looks like in practice. Look at the poor paraphrase at the bottom. The student kept the exact same sentence frame. Blank is a major blank of climate change because it blanks the Earth's ability. All they did was swap the word contributor to cause and reduces to lessons. The skeleton of that sentence belongs entirely to the original author. Make no mistake, this is patch writing, and explicitly, it is still plagiarism.
All right, let's take a quick breather here and test your understanding. Take a look at these first two questions. 1. How would you define plagiarism in your own words, right now? Seriously, think about it for a second. And 2, why is paraphrasing actually a useful skill for you to have, beyond just staying out of trouble? I want you to actively formulate these answers in your mind.
Moving on to the rest of your homework challenges for this topic. Question 3 asks you to explain the difference between paraphrasing and patch writing. Question 4 is a practical one. I want you to use your new 3-step toolkit. And remember, look away from the text and paraphrase the sentence, "Eating breakfast can improve focus during morning classes." And finally, question 5, why do we still need to cite a source even when the words are totally our own?
And finally, Section 6, Morality, Education, and Peace. The material we're analyzing today roots its lessons in a really distinct worldview. It draws on biblical promises, specifically Romans 8:6-7, which promises peace of mind to everyone who keeps their mind spiritual. The big takeaway here is that maintaining spiritual and moral honesty in everything you do, even an 8th grade history paper, removes all that anxiety of being caught. Honesty quite literally brings you genuine peace of mind.
And that's the core philosophy of the heroesmartacademy Godly Learners series that provided today's lesson. They heavily emphasize that education without morality is ultimately going to hurt you. Because think about it, what is the point of being super smart and well-educated if you continue making bad, dishonest choices that ruin your credibility and your future? Being truly smart requires making good moral choices. Cultivating integrity isn't just about following the rules, it is the direct pathway to achieving that lasting peace of mind. Which brings us to our final provocative thought for this explainer. You now have the definition of integrity, you've got the 3-step toolkit to paraphrase perfectly, and you understand why it all matters morally. So the question now is, how will you choose to apply this peace of mind to your own studies today? Next time you sit down to write, I challenge you to be that honest translator. Use your own voice, give credit where it's due, and just experience the confidence that comes with true academic integrity. Thanks for exploring this with me, and keep learning.